How does God speak to us today? When people talk about this topic, dreams and visions are usually at the bottom of the list. Often they're not even on the list. Yet Scripture clearly tells us that dreams, and their waking equivalent visions, are God's favoured mode of communication. God even describes his own form of speech in this way at the time of ancient Israel. And when the Spirit was poured out on the day of Pentecost, the promise was that now everyone could hear God speak in this way. But what are dreams and visions? These days, we differentiate between them by saying dreams come while we're asleep and visions when we're awake. But in the original biblical languages, the terms are interchangeable. In Scripture, for example, dreams are often described as visions of the night. Even when angels appear, the biblical authors describe them as visions. That's why today biblical scholars will use the term dream vision. Dream visions are distinctive for their picture language. They speak in images and symbols to present a message, rather than using words and sentences. They involve a seeing rather than a hearing. As the prophet Jeremiah asked, which of them has stood in the counsel of the Lord to see or hear his word? In Scripture, dream visions are the most common form of God's speech. In fact, they comprise 1/3 of the Old Testament. Many of our famous Bible stories begin with a dream vision. It starts with the patriarchs, as God's covenant with Abraham is sealed by a dream of a blazing torch. Jacob's transformation begins with a vision of a stairway to heaven. Joseph's future is revealed with a scene of celestial beings bowing down, and the Egyptian Pharaoh sees a dream of skinny cows symbolizing the years of famine to come. Then, as Moses establishes his leadership in Israel, multiple visions guide the people into the nation's development. From there, dream visions appear throughout the time of the judges and the kings, with Gideon's dream of the barley loaf, Micaiah's revelation of the heavenly council, and Solomon's request for wisdom. After this, dream visions feature prominently among all the prophets, beginning with those before the exile, such as Amos's basket of summer fruit, Isaiah's scene of the throne on high, and Jeremiah's vision of a boiling pot. Then, during the exile, think of Daniel's dreams of 4 beasts and Ezekiel's valley of dry bones. And finally, beyond the exile, there's Zechariah's famous vision of the olive trees and a golden lampstand. But God's use of dream visions doesn't stop with the Old Testament. It continues into the time of Jesus with the 5 dreams of the Christmas story. Jesus himself experiences several significant visions during his ministry, at his baptism, his transfiguration, and when he sees Satan fall from heaven. After Jesus, dream visions are the primary mode of divine communication in the early church, with 21 instances in Acts, including Peter's famous dream vision of the unclean animals, Stephen's vision of his welcome into heaven, and Ananias' vision of healing for Paul's blindness, Paul's dream of the man from Macedonia and his assurance of safety when he sees the vision of the angel. Paul's experiences also include visions of the third heaven, and of course, the most complete and detailed description of a series of dream visions can be found in Revelation, with its colourful scenes of a blood-stained lamb with 7 horns, saints wearing white robes that had been washed in blood, and a drunken prostitute riding a scarlet beast. That's quite a list. And there's still a whole lot more. There's no doubt that dream visions were the key mode of communication in biblical history. But the truth is, God is still speaking this way. Dream visions are a legitimate and normal way to have a God conversation. We just need to learn to recognize them. Thanks for listening to Everyday God Conversations today. Join us on the journey to hearing God's voice by subscribing to our email devotional plan at godconversations.com. May you hear the voice of God clearly, and in doing so, find the courage to follow.